Hey there, this is John with Coulter Company. I want to talk a little bit today about fire starters. So there are a lot of different options out there. There's some you can buy, and there's a lot of instructions on the internet about how to make a fire starter. Whether that's with cotton balls soaked in wax or petroleum jelly. There's really a lot of different things, a lot of options that you can do. There are a couple of drawbacks to any of these things, whether you're going to buy a fire starter or you're going to make a fire starter. First, you have to make it or buy it. And then second of all, you have to carry it. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the principles that makes a good fire starter work and how you can do that when you're out in the wild without having to take anything with you. For a good fire starter, you need two different elements. You need the first one that is going to catch fire easily and burn quickly. And the second element is going to be the fuel that will burn for a long period of time. I have been looking around and I found a couple different things to work for the first part. Found some cottonwood fluff. Really great. Burns quickly, but it doesn't last very long. But that's fine because what we're using it for, it doesn't need to. I also have some kind of old man's beard that grows plentifully around here and some other moss that looks pretty good. So as far as improvising other things, you could use paper, you can use toilet paper, you can use whatever you happen to have in your area. Maybe it's dry grass, maybe it's really thin fluffy bark. Or for the second element, we're gonna be using pine sap. It burns a long time, and once that first piece starts going, it's going to melt the sap, and then that's going to be used as a wick. Like right here, it's a nice little chunk. One of the places that you can look for it are areas where a tree has been injured recently, and they usually produce sap at that point. So some types of evergreen trees have little pockets of sap on their bark. You can see this one if you cut into it there. Has a nice little pocket there. And you can just wipe that off onto your tinder. There's another one right up here. And as long as you don't cut too deep, this won't do any permanent damage on the tree. Ooh, there's a couple down here that are pretty good too. I might collect those here in a second. So I found a nice little pocket of sap right in here. And that is going to come in really, really handy. That's a nice one. So here I've got my two elements. I've got the soft, fluffy, quick to light stuff, and I have my big chunk of pine sap. And I am just going to mix these together, try and make a little bit of a, put them together. Make sure that a lot of the fluffy stuff is on top, but some of it is going to be around it and not on the bottom, to make sure that that heats up properly around it. I'm going to try it without using any magnesium. I don't think this is going to have any trouble starting. Yeah, there it goes. Alright, so we got a big flash up front, but it didn't quite carry through yet. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit more of the soft fluff here. And I am going to add a little bit of magnesium here and we'll see. Okay. You can see with that smoke starting to turn black, and that's the pitch itself starting to burn. There we go. Now it's starting to get some momentum, huh? once that pitch gets going, it really takes off. So lessons learned today from our DIY fire starter. I learned that having more of that first element, that soft, quick lighting, fast burning material would have been good to have. I did have to restart it a couple times. But once that burned down to the point where the pitch itself started to melt and to burn, that thing was awesome. That probably would have burned probably another 6 minutes. So like a total of 12 minutes of burn time is pretty decent. That would give you plenty of time to get some smaller kindling, even if it's kind of wet, a little bit wet kindling. That would not have any problem burning the moisture out with that kind of a base. I also learned that depending on the circumstances, you probably wouldn't even need that much pine sap. That burned really well. And if you're in conditions where things are dry, you just want a little extra oomph at the beginning, maybe half of that much would do. But if you're in a spot where things are wet, you're not sure that if you have enough kindling or really small stuff, I would definitely pile on the pitch at the beginning, and that did really good. I hope you found this video valuable. I know when I was a young kid, spending time in the outdoors and learning things about self-sufficiency, how to do things for myself, how to make things for myself, was hugely valuable and really has had a huge impact on who I am today and what I'm doing today. I want to encourage you, if you liked this, please share it with somebody that you know that is just starting out, that is learning, and that has a bright future in the outdoors ahead of them. Thank you.